me do that. Why do I still... I have Grand Blue Fantasy open. Okay. No. Wrong Grand Blue Fantasy.
Single player RPG stream.
Okay. We're good to go.
Okay, hell
I
yeah.
did not put together a swear jar. So I'm gonna open up my calculator, and I'm gonna very quickly lose track.
Yeah, no, see, we're just not gonna swear. Neither of us are gonna swear this whole stream.
Ever.
Never, ever.
Alright, we're back.
Well, hey, gamers, what's going on? Fucking... Oh, okay, well...
Alright, well, I already add one to the swear jar. Okay.
Excellent. You know, I'm glad we lost our swear virginity. There's less pressure now.
You were about to say there's less word that has to do with virginity, weren't you?
I said I was meaning to say pressure, and pleasure almost came out of my lips. And
well, now it did. So the cat's out of the bag.
Well, it wasn't it wasn't gonna be on purpose. Also, pleasure doesn't count for the swear jar. Also,
I know it doesn't count for the swear jar. I'm being accusatory.
Yo, are you live? Cause I don't have game visuals.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to set that part up. I knew I was missing something.
Oh, the game? You forgot the game in our video game?
I forgot the game for you specifically. Everything else is working fine. I just forgot to do that. Okay. We're chilling now.
Everything is working fine, except, you know, the stream.
We're okay now.
So, yeah, AI 3, I assume.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna mention my thoughts on it now.
Okay.
I much prefer the return to form. Oh shoot.
Yeah. It was so similar to what the setup was for the first one that I thought it might be like a spin-off DLC, but that didn't make any sense. But yeah, no. It's just Date's in the pilot seat on this one. Which I figured would be your preference because you like Date.
Yeah, very much so.
So yeah, we'll see how it is. Maybe we'll even stream it on here. Who knows?
So about the direct, maybe I'm like not super focused on like a lot of games that come out now, but like I don't know. I feel like I was super interested in a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there was the AI, and then there was Metroid Prime 4 is a real video game that's coming out. Apparently Witchbrook, one of the indie games they announced, has a community that thought it was vaporware that was never coming out because there hasn't been news on it for about Silksong number of years. So that was pretty exciting for them.
Is that a unit of time now?
Yeah, Silksong number of years. New Tomodachi Life is fine. New Tamagotchi Life is also interesting to me.
Okay. Think about that real
quick. New
Rhythm
Heaven game. Oh yeah, what's up?
So, Tomodachi, or no, sorry, not Tomodachi Life, but the Tamagotchi game, I feel like is part of a specific trend. That of games that are currently filling the gap that is like what Animal Crossing, I feel like, wasn't able to provide everyone with.
So Tomodachi Life and Tamagotchi Plaza are both sequels to games that were on the DS.
I mean the fact that they come out now. I'm not talking about Tomodachi Life. I'm talking about the Tamagotchi game, where it's like more like Animal Crossing style games.
Yeah. Well, this is several years after New Horizons and also a sequel in a previously existent franchise, so I'm not really getting that vibe, though I do agree that it might scratch an itch for some people.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I feel like a lot of games have been coming out lately when it comes to that genre. And the first thing I would say is probably people trying to capitalize on it, whereas that wasn't really done as much before, because without the age of the internet, there was um, a lot less of a way to gauge like the popularity of stuff. And you could say the same even for New Leaf, but maybe less so.
I don't know. I don't think this is the iron hot because New Horizons came out 6 years ago.
Well, the thing is, specifically when it comes to Animal Crossing games, they typically have enough content to last a very long time.
Yeah.
And for the most part, like people, like even some Animal Crossing like fans, I would say, aren't the most interested in.
That was the most obvious result
Yeah,
of
I'm
what
trying
you
to see
tried
what I'm
to do.
supposed to do here. But it feels like people are engaging with Animal Crossing less since New Leaf. Is why I think that is the case.
I just don't think. I just think that's objectively and verifiably. Oh, that's easy. I think that's objectively and verifiably not true because thanks to uh that big disease event that happened, I think that's also demonetizable. Um, Animal Crossing New Horizons and the Switch sold way, way, way more than their lifetime expectations during that time period.
Well, I think there's a difference between the amount of copies you sell for a game and how long people interact with it for.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily gaugeable. It's not like there's an Animal Crossing
And
census.
that's the hard thing that we have. That is when it comes to answering that is because um, people. We entered a point in time where there was so much interaction on the internet for New Horizons compared to New Leaf. But New Leaf is considered to be, on average, by like your typical Animal Crossing fan who's played more than just New Horizons, to be like the preferred game, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure
So,
about
but
it
it's
now
really
that New
hard
Horizons.
to explain or to even know like which one had more of a player base for longer, unless you're probably some analyst at Nintendo.
Yeah, and I'm not really even sure. At this point, New Horizons has the entire furniture catalog more or less. They have the DLC that added a bunch of features that have never been in the series before, and the game is now feature complete compared to New Leaf. So I'm not actually sure which is the preferred game at this point in time,
So,
but definitely it was true for a while that New Leaf was a better experience.
but now that begs me to ask the question: um, does a game have content released in stages retain a player base longer than a game that releases finished?
I mean that's kind of the point of doing it, isn't it? Like now
I wouldn't actually say
I
that.
well, yeah, that's the point of releasing it. That's the point of a live service. That's the point of releasing a game in bits and bobs, is
There,
to cause players to come back every time there's something new.
there are two purposes to a live service model. The first purpose is, or not, I wouldn't say it's for a live service model specifically, but I would say specifically for content release updates after a game releases. The first purpose is so that you can have an earlier release to capitalize on people still talking about your game. or
Right.
a second thing is to offset the development team to another project so that you can release it now and have a smaller development team finish the game over time. Pretty much the main crux of what I'm saying is release now, finish it later.
Yep.
And the second option is the live service model. You want to make money off of the game in incremented releases.
Now,
These are
now I
both
do understand.
becoming
Go ahead.
increasingly unpopular as time goes on, which is why I'm concerned about these kinds of things, and that's why I believe that Animal Crossing might have run into a problem with that.
Oh, I don't think the inherent unpopularity of live services was a thing when Animal Crossing when New Horizons was finished, which was like 3 years ago. Like we hadn't had the big ones yet, like Suicide Squad. No, that might have been right around when Anthem, though.
Well,
Animal Crossing might have been just before the Anthem happened.
well, I might say that. What am I doing here? Can I do this? Yeah, I can. Okay.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh. Well, I might say that. Yes, the public sentiment became a lot more of a thing. I'll get it eventually. Well, the public sentiment for the distaste in release now, finish it later schedules only started to become very overwhelmingly negative recently. I would say that the feeling still existed back then, which is why you had people complaining about the game and how they prefer New Leaf until probably recently. Just for that very reason.
I mean, yeah, but I don't. I guess we're just in the point where it's just impossible to know. Did the DLC adding legitimately new and good features that were not in previous games cause people to come back and retain them? I don't think we have the ability to know that.
I think from our perspective, and without me having like research data or just research data from Nintendo, my best
you want me to call my
assumption
uncle
is
Nintendo?
to use anecdotal information.
Well,
Just
yeah.
to say that, like, hey, I don't really see people talking about this game anymore.
Well, I want you to YouTube search Dream Island Tour or Animal Crossing Island Tour, because people are still making content.
But how
Actually,
popular would you say that is in relevance to how popular would you say that is in relevance to excuse me 1 second. I'm realizing the game might be a little loud here. It's hard to hear myself over the game right now. That might be better. Okay. How popular the game is now compared to how popular other Animal Crossing games or games of a similar genre are after this many years.
But that's the thing. That's where it's kind of impossible to make a comparison, because I can't, like, there's no such thing as a Dream Island tour in older Animal Crossing games, and there's no like online infrastructure for New Leaf, and there's no island terraforming, and there's no outdoor decoration, so there's not really like this huge market for creative build making. So there's just New Horizons allows so much more in terms of sharing content than other games have, and then the internet exists in the form it exists in today. So it's really hard to say what's more popular in the hearts of the 2013 youth on their DS, because they didn't have the ability to share their creations in an efficient way.
Um, yeah, I think at the same time when you're running into situations where people are playing in a non-insignificant amount, people are playing um, the older games out of just preference. I think it's worth
Yeah, I mean,
talking about.
but that, I mean, that's just it's just an imagined subset that we don't have data for. Because I know there are like 100,000 people that watch Dream Island tours still. I have no idea how many people are still new leafing it up because there's just not data for that. I think we're gonna need to do an Animal Crossing census. I think you and I are gonna have to do some door knocking.
um, yeah, Animal Crossing is. I mean, it's never been my kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
I can say I have fun with it. Uh,
I was literally watching Dream Island tours to get ideas for decorating my island, so I'm into it a little bit. um, what was that? Huh? I don't seem like a Dream Island tour kind of guy.
no, I'm just thinking about that. You know, I don't. I'm realizing that I don't really like to build stuff when it comes to like
Yeah.
sandbox games.
I
When I
think.
played
Yeah,
in
I
Animal
think.
Crossing, I was just like, man, I want to have a pretty island, but I don't want to do any of the work to make it pretty.
Yeah, I think if you play an Animal Crossing game, like I found a spot on my island and was like, man, this looks like a great place for a park. And then I crafted a fountain, I fucking made a fence, I fucking planted a bunch of flowers, I got street posts. If that kind of thing just doesn't occur to you or sound like fun, I don't think the like city planning light type games are your genre. Like it's a waste of time for no one's satisfaction but your own, and the game is not giving you a medal for it.
Yeah. Uh, I guess I'm more of a creative builder for when it comes to gameplay, not vanity. Because I've never been too much of a vanity guy. Like even when I play games that have skins, I typically like don't like to use skins very often.
I don't really. I mean, vanity's not an incorrect assessment, but I kind of felt like it's a good avenue for artistic expression. Like, I want to fucking, I want to build a park. What does my park look like? What do I do with what I have to make the park that's in my imagination? And it was a fun process for me while I was doing it.
You know, I haven't been keeping track of the swear jar. I'm gonna press another one. So let's just pretend we're
Did I
at two
swear?
now. Yeah, just now.
Did I swear?
In
I
that
did.
sentence.
Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. I thought I was doing pretty gosh
I
darn
think
good.
you've been doing pretty good.
I will get there. We'll get bland.
Bland. You wanna
Yeah,
get
once we
bland?
lose all of our sentence enhancers. Um, does it count when I say the name of failed DC live service project Suicide Squad? Does that count for the swear jar?
No. I wouldn't consider that a swear.
Yeah, because that game heckin' sucks. That game is a real pile of stink.
Have you? I haven't played it. And then I'm not a live service guy or like a shooter guy.
Yeah, I think the live service shooter I spent the most time with is Splatoon 3.
Where did you come from?
That's a great question. Um, and hey, just a quick shout out. If your live service elements are free, like if your live service just comes out, I'm good with you. Like Splatoon 3, not mad about it. Monster Hunter World, not mad about it. Because they just give you free shit. And I'm good with that.
So what you're saying is you like free updates, not live
Yes,
service specifically.
Well, I mean, that's a live service, though. Like,
Free updates is okay. Free
no,
updates
hold on.
is a
Hold on.
feature
Like,
of live services, but it can be a feature of other kinds of games as well.
now,
I would
I
consider.
just,
Sorry, I'll let you speak.
yeah, I just need a hard pause here. Fucking, I feel like the main feature that people think about when they talk about live service games is sucking. And if a game doesn't suck, it's not a live service in the minds of a lot of people, and I don't think that's how it works. I think if you have frequent updates, time limited events, things like login bonuses and other traffic drivers, I think those are the elements of a live service. So Monster Hunter World and Splatoon 3 are live services, even though they don't meet the criteria that most people associate with live services, sucking.
Yeah, because I was about to mention that Splatoon is a live service, but
Yeah.
free updates is a thing that not only live services do.
Okay. Well,
Because
I guess
free
here's where
updates can is basically just free DLC, free downloadable content.
I
And free
think if
DLC
it's
has been provided for games historically.
Yeah, I think that the thing is, it's gonna depend on update frequency and um update density. Like, if you release, let's say you're a Baldur's Gate 3, and you release like 3 times a year, you release small content patches and bug fix patches. I wouldn't necessarily consider that to be a live service. If you're Monster Hunter World though, and 5 times a year while you were running, you add new monsters, new weapons, new locales, new systems. I think that's when you cross the line. I
Well,
think it's when it's a lot and when it's a bunch of stuff.
live service is not like a philosophical term. A live service game is a game that runs pretty much entirely on a server. You have a game that has all the assets and stuff, but it needs to connect to a server to run. It's basically just a live service game is a little homogenous with basically a online only game.
Well,
It can have offline features, but typically when online is the main feature of a game, we call it live service.
I don't think that's right. I don't think live service is a philosophical. I think it has a definition. I don't think the definition is that it's a game that connects to a server. Because like, would you call a game like Titanfall 2, which was a multiplayer game that had one expansion pack but rarely got any additional content besides patches, but needed an internet connection to play? Is
Yes.
that a live service?
Yes.
No.
I would call a game that, for example, any Call of Duty game that, like nowadays, where they mostly just sell the multiplayer or the Warzone features of it, where those games are online, those are live services, even if you are just playing multiplayer with friends. You're seeming to mistake the parts of live service which are just content updates, like regular content updates, which should happen in live services but don't necessarily make it a live service, are frequent.
I think I think I think the definition of a lot. I think what people are expecting when you talk about a live service game is a lot like what Ubisoft is talking about when they talk about releasing a live service is not a game that connects to the internet. That's not what anyone means.
The intention of a company when they talk about live services is specifically the monetization of it. But just because
Right.
a company's intentions for live service have to do around monetization does not necessarily mean that a live service is defined by its monetization.
No, yes. Like a live service is a way to release it's a method of releasing a project. It's not just a game that connects online. It's a platform philosophy.
Yes,
It's
but
this
we're
game
talking
is
about games
this
here.
game is going to be
Theoretically, a live service game must be a game that's main form of play is connecting to a server that
well
delivers, well, services.
well yes. A, a live service must have an online element because otherwise it wouldn't be able to update. But I'm saying that not all bugs are spiders. I'm saying that having an online focused game does not make it a live service.
What a great conversation. I too am saying that not all bugs are spiders.
Okay, okay. Well, I think we're at the point where we're agreeing with each other using words that don't exactly match up. So we'll just move on past that. Um,
uh, before we mentioned live service, we were talking about what exactly?
um, I said that Suicide Squad sucked, and you said I'm not really a fan of live services, and we talked about this for
Yes.
20 minutes.
I
So
mean,
yeah, Suicide Squad.
uh, another example of a live service is MMOs. Um,
Yeah,
I
I
played
agree.
Destiny for a while.
Oh yeah. I actually
Um,
kind of in my brain Destiny kind of blurred that line to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, MMOs and live services are the same
they
thing.
are the same thing.
Because I wasn't thinking of them as the same thing until I got to the Destiny ballpark and I'm like, well this is a live service, but what's the difference between this and an MMO? And I'm like, well, nothing, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Um
There is a path there, and I don't know how to get to that.
and it does I think Destiny 2 does have the fundamental feature of live services as most people see them, and that is sucking. I
Okay, my
I
problem
actually
with live service is not that the concept of making a live service, it's how they're monetized nowadays.
oh yeah,
The problem
again
comes with the fact that they're designed entirely for making money and not necessarily fun as the first concept. So,
yeah, I mean that's see I was oh yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I would say you're not necessarily trying to make a good product, rather that you're trying to make something that makes money.
Um
Anyways, what were you saying?
I was having a debate in the YouTube comment section, don't judge me. I was having a debate in the YouTube comment section on a Monster Hunter Wilds video, and the debate wasn't about Wilds, it was about World, where, in my mind, World is not undebatably a modern example of of a live service, a successful live service that is good. And that's where got that the main thing people identify live services by is being bad video games, because I could sit there and be like, well, World had periodic updates, World had time locked events, World had login bonuses, um, and they'd be like, yeah, but World wasn't bad, so it can't be a live service.
Well, live service as a term has become sort of a boogeyman right now.
Yeah, I agree.
People still love live services. People just don't like the way live services are designed and monetized right now. Well, at
The,
least in
the
the
game
corporate section of live services.
the
Um,
game I played the absolute most is a live service. It's Limbus Company, and it's the live serviceiest of live services you can imagine. And it's a great game that I play a lot.
but um, if you take a game someone loves and or a really popular game that someone has never heard of, really, let's say that,
Okay.
and you refer to it as a live service, people are not going to like it People are gonna
Right.
assume that it's a bad game.
I agree. I think when you say something like Monster Hunter is a live service or Splatoon is a live service, you're creating an expectation that that they're bad just based on that. And that's kind of unfortunate, but I mean that's what the AAA games industry has done to the concept.
And live
Is
service is sorry to interrupt, but live service is not
no, go ahead.
a binary system with like non-live services. It's not one or the other. It's a spectrum. Games can be more of a
Yeah.
live service than the others. Like they can have a live service element, but that doesn't necessarily make them entirely a live service game. So I guess there is a point where you reach like this is live service. When the servers go down, the game will not work. But
Yeah.
typically, at least outside of the corporate space, that's not always the case.
Now that's an interesting thing to add to the add wrinkles to, because I can plug my PC in and get Monster Hunter World and all of its content, and then unplug it and play it offline forever until my computer explodes. But I would still say it's a live service.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
has live service elements, is what you should say,
Yeah.
because Monster
Okay.
Hunter can be played offline, and yeah, that's about it. I actually
Yeah.
don't know if Monster Hunter is peer-to-peer when you play online, or if it's server hosted.
I wouldn't be surprised if Wilds is server hosted because of how large the player lobbies are, but I've always thought it was peer-to-peer before that point.
Because if let's say a game's servers go down, if the game online is peer-to-peer, the game can continue to be played forever. If I remember correctly, old Call of Duty games are peer-to-peer, so they can still be played online.
Yeah.
But
And
that also resulted in a
think-
lot of people getting hacked back then.
Yeah. I think all the Monster Hunter games are definitely peer-to-peer now that I think about it, because if Demon's dad called him out of the room and he had to close his DS while we were hunting, it wouldn't leave me in the hunt and then Demon could rejoin later. What would happen is, since Demon was the host, I would get kicked out.
That doesn't necessarily mean that it's peer-to-peer. It just means that the host has left, so they're going to close the room. In my game, I want it to be that the host of this game is doing this mission. If the host leaves this mission, I want to cancel the mission.
Okay.
If I do that, that doesn't necessarily make my game peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer versus a hosted server are technical capabilities.
No, I understand what the difference is between the two things. I just always thought that instance occurring was a sign of it being peer-to-peer, but I can understand it not necessarily being the case. I do want to point out the unironic in my game.
Yeah. Just wanted to cut the grass. Oh wait, hold on.
How many subs do we need before you play The Witness on here?
The Witness? Which one is the
Yeah.
game? Is The Witness?
It's the In My Game.
Oh my god.
If we somehow garnered an audience that isn't our close circle of friends, Deity believes Jonathan Blow's The Witness is a hyper pretentious time waster game, and he's not a big fan of it.
Dude, you said it better than I could have.
I'm trying to be polite. We're the new non-swearing TraceNDeity. We gotta approach subjects with this air of sophistication and maturity. I like those sun reflection puzzles, by the way. I thought that was a cool idea.
Oh, here we are. This is what I've been looking for.
But no, I think we should be mainly playing games we can enjoy. So we'll
I
find something fun to
listen.
play after
I
Bug Snacks.
I picked Shenmue entirely for the fact that I don't expect myself to enjoy that game.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of surprised that you gravitated towards Night Trap so eagerly, knowing that it's not
I
necessarily going to
I
be a
love
quality gaming
I
experience.
love goofy games. Goofy games are great.
It's actually kind of amazing that Night Trap, despite being totally incompetent and not even close to what most people would consider a video game by modern standards, is kind of one of the most historically significant games of all time.
It led to the ESRB along with Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
it led to the ESRB along with Mortal Kombat. Because the senator lied about it, because the senator got on the floor and told lies about it, but still. Like, he just made up scenes of, like, you can watch women getting dismembered in full glory detail. And, like, dude, it's an game. It's an SNES game. No, you could not. That's not in there. That doesn't exist. Not real.
I was gonna make a comment, but it would be like comment on how the world works, and it's not. It's boring. So I'm gonna leave that there. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff to do right now. But yeah, I think probably Night Trap would be a good idea. This game is very involved, and I'm assuming that Night Trap is going to be even more involved.
Involved, involved in, like, what fashion? Like,
Requiring like more dialogue and attention focused on the game. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm gonna have to see how I'm gonna manage our topics while also focusing on
okay,
the mystery of the game.
I think I've given you this example off stream before, but let me give it to you on stream, and just to remind you of it. Night Trap is like, if we were watching Die Hard together.
Well, I have to like change the camera a lot, like Five Nights at Freddy.
Yeah, okay. It's like if we were watching Die Hard together, and fucking periodically I would throw a green sign up, like I would hold up a small paper sign, and you would need to say green, and if you didn't do it within 10 seconds, I would rewind the entirety of Die Hard.
Well, you have to change the cameras though, right?
Yeah, you also have to change the cameras.
That's the part
correct.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's like if I was doing 6 different copies of Die Hard.
Oh, okay.
And there were 6 of me.
It's just gonna do that to me. Oh, I thought it was gonna be like a trap. Like I would have to trap him or something.
Oh. Yeah, that would have been a creative puzzle-solving thing that would test what you know about your gloves that you just got. Or I guess you could just walk up to him. That's where we're at in this timeline of Zelda. Why do you look like that?
The mole? So, I was gonna mention something today, but I didn't remember. Oh, yeah. So, you know how I've been like, I've been losing weight lately, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
you're getting your summer bod ready to go.
Pretty much. So I've been working out lately, and the part that I need to mention with that is that recently my family and I went to go to a Japanese barbecue, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like hot pot. Not hot pot exactly, but Where it's the one where you put meats on the raw meats on the grill.
Yeah, yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so that morning I weighed myself, right? 172.2, right?
Yeah.
Later in the day, I know obviously like there's stuff when it comes to like water weight, like you have different amounts of water in your body over the course of the day and stuff. But when I came back and I weighed myself, I was 176.6. Literal gluttony. Like I felt horrible after how much I ate in that restaurant. I tried Wagyu.
Well, yeah.
It was not A5 Wagyu, but it was Wagyu.
Like, here's the thing.
Wait, hold up. This
You
is
go.
this is one of my only fears.
What? Well, here's the thing. The distance Link is from that lava is enough that he would be long dead. So you don't have to worry about this ever happening because you'd be dead. Like,
Anyways.
you'd be in a tunnel with slowly encroaching lava, and it's gonna cover and burn you to death slowly. No, at that distance, you wouldn't have skin anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not necessarily like being down there. It's specifically like burning. I don't want to. It's the pain.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That sucks.
So now you want to keep your skin.
Listen, Lightning McQueen gives some pretty good advice. Okay.
Yeah. I consider it my life coverage, actually.
Okay, this is my last slingshot nut.
And he will never nut again.
We had to go there, didn't we?
Yeah, go ahead and add a 0.5 to the swear jar.
Nah, that's not it's not one. Choose the path you believe and move forward bravely. Oh, what was the fable again?
What fable?
I know the fable, just pick both options.
What the fuck are you talking?
There it
Do
is.
we have a chatter?
Found it. No.
Are
Oh,
you
well, King's
just
here.
having a?
Okay,
just having a
so
little
do
moment
you remember
for
the
yourself?
do you remember the little fable that we were told at the start of the dungeon?
No.
Where it was like, don't be afraid, like jump off the edge.
That's not a fable.
Yeah, it was. It had to do with like a statue and stuff, and it was like a I think it rhymed.
Don't be afraid. Jump off the edge is a soapstone
Well,
message.
I'm like paraphrasing here.
And thus did the Lord turn to Job and say, "Try jumping."
Try finger. Oh god, I'm cursed.
I did read the Bible cover to cover when I was a lad, and I do not remember that particular soapstone being mentioned.
I spoke to Morshu, or sorry, I did not speak to Morshu. I watched Morshu read it.
Yeah, you watch Father Morshu preach.
It's crazy to me how that video is like 80 hours long. Somebody did all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
People act like it's less impressive than sentence mixing because you used the Morshu Utao. I would encourage you to go use the Utao. Go try to get an Utao to read 2 sentences in a comprehensible way. Any Utao.
So what you're saying is like he had to throw in pronunciations into the
Yes.
instead of like he had to throw in like Romanized English.
Yes. He had to sit there and tune it so it sounded like normal speaking, because Utaos are built for singing. So ordinarily, they don't sound good when they're just doing spoken words monosyllabically. And Morshu's Utao is a pretty special case because Morshu's Utao has like 18 unique sounds to work with. Because Morshu has 3 sentences in the game.
Speaking of something that somebody did with something similar is the Hatsune Miku mod for Chip in Sonic Unleashed, where she has all of the dialogue that Chip says in cutscenes.
But it's Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
Now
That's
Hatsune
the
Miku
voice.
is one I have had say sentences, and it's actually not super hard to get her to say sentences because she's very advanced for a voice synthesizer program. I still can't imagine doing that. I still can't imagine spending the like 2 weeks it must have taken to do that. Why?
Kind of neat though. And it turns out to be a very fun mod because of all like the extra facial rigging and stuff.
Oh, they just turned Chip into Miku.
Yeah. Like even like there's a part where Chip like fake dies because like he's hungry or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens with that is that, oh no, I'm gonna have to Chip fake dies and his like ghost comes out of his body because he's hungry or whatever.
Huh?
And
I got that so far.
the Miku mod has an extra model, like an extra 3D model for being like a ghost.
Do you think this is the kind of thing that started as a joke until it became an obsession?
It was great.
Like, wouldn't it be funny if Chip was Hatsune Miku? Like, imagine that Chip talked like this. Wouldn't that be amazing? You think I could do that? You think I could just make like a few lines of Chip as Hatsune Miku? Oh, that sounds pretty good. What about a few more? What about a few more? What if I rigged it? What if I made a model for it?
I mean, I feel like it was a
What if
model
I
like
did-
already taken from somewhere and then just like rigged onto Chip. That's my assumption at least.
Probably. Miku probably has the most 3D models of any media character.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Unless
be
it's
surprised, but if the person actually went ahead and like did that, it's just like going the extra mile. Like I would pay for that mod.
So they should sign up for the Bethesda Creators Program.
Oh my god. Here's the thing about the Bethesda creators thing, is that it was gonna the stuff was gonna be originally sold on Steam, right?
Yep.
Steam takes a 30% cut from everything that's sold on its platform. So if you sell your mod for like $5, right? Steam is taking 1/3 of that out. About 1/3. I probably shouldn't have jumped down. Yeah, I shouldn't have. Let me go back up. Steam is taking like 1/3 out of that. And then Bethesda also wanted a cut. and I don't remember the exact amount, but it was something obscene, like 30%, 40% maybe. And
Like,
so you're making like 20% of the money that it sells for. Which, I mean, I guess you're
like
getting paid for making your mods, but someone is buying your mod and you're getting barely any of the money for it.
I remember, like one of the initial protests that consumers had back when it was Skyrim and it was a new concept was that Bethesda would basically be required to do an amount of manpower in vetting that they would never ever do. Um, and it led to the creation of one of the funniest protest pieces I've ever seen. One Apple HD. Um, one Apple HD was a single apple added to a table in Riften with a unique HD texture that the modder made themselves.
Yep.
And it was sold. Its sell price was $1,000 because Bethesda did not do any vetting at
And the
all,
crazy thing
and
is they would barely get paid for it. Bethesda would
yeah,
be swimming in money if people bought that.
well, it ended up delaying the creator program from happening for several years because they were getting made fun of for such a ludicrous thing being allowed to exist on their platform. But the creator program does exist now, if you're curious. They were kind of relying on it to fix Starfield for them.
Game companies like Bethesda and CD Projekt Red and such, um, they're kind of sorry, one second. Okay,
This idiot again.
they kind of rely on releasing a game that is, to say it bluntly, not finished. Um, oh yeah, we're gonna fight Girahim.
I will be a little kinder to CD Projekt Red because their previous three games before Cyberpunk were all completely finished and very polished.
So I feel like Cyberpunk was
But
plagued by some bad situations, and I'm worried
yeah,
that it's gonna become the precedent. Because
well, they are currently making Witcher 4, so I guess we'll find out.
for a lot of games, this is becoming the standard.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily to rely on modders to finish it, which if you can, good. But in the case of a live service, it's you can't really do that for some things. Um, so the situation is to release the game, and like we were talking about earlier before with live service models, is finish it later, whether it's a live service or not. Which, if you ask me, is what I think happened to New Horizons. The game didn't have everything it had, and um, it's entirely possible, and I would say maybe it's even more possible that they release the game um, not necessarily unfinished, but lacking content that was never intended to be, and it was intended to be released later. Which is kind of in part saying release it unfinished, finish it later. But it was done
yeah,
in a way to maintain relevancy by saying, hey, it's a new update with new stuff. When the game released with less than what New Leaf had.
yeah. I think Cyberpunk was a mistake. I think Cyberpunk was a whoopsie. I think, and I don't think they accidentally pressed the release button. That's not what I'm saying.
I I
I think
I,
they,
I agree with you. I genuinely believe that the game had no choice at that time to release. It was a very big game, and they were clearly struggling to put it out, and they had to release it. They had to finish it afterwards, and they did. So I think I have good faith that they did the best they could with that game because it turned out after everything had turned out to be apparently great.
Yeah, I actually heard the DLC pack is mind-blowingly good. I'm never gonna buy it, but I heard it was very well received. Which wouldn't surprise me, because Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games of all time. And the other two Witcher games are also really good. So it wouldn't surprise me that CD Projekt Red, given effectively infinite time, made Cyberpunk a good game. It's just a shame they couldn't have made a complete project before launch.
My other problem is I don't have a lot of faith in AAA, and whatever you want to call quadruple A, which is what I guess some places are calling themselves, or at least what people are calling it.
No, they're calling themselves that.
I don't remember.
Ubisoft has given itself a crown made of gold. You want to know? You want to guess? I want you to guess right now, right here, right now. What is the game that Ubisoft called a quadruple A project? What game was that? It was a relatively recent game. I'll give you that as a hint.
I'm almost certain it was a live service game that closed down soon after.
Yes, definitely.
And I don't remember which one it was. It's not. I don't think they make Avengers.
No.
And I don't think they make Suicide Squad. And if they do make Suicide Squad, it was Suicide Squad.
Okay. You remember Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Oh my God! We're talking about Black Flag. Is that the one?
No.
No.
But
because Black Flag is not a live service.
Right. So you remember it, of course.
Yeah.
Give me a second so I can get the title for the game. But so Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out and was extremely well received. And a lot of the things that were well received about it were the sailing combat and sailing exploration. Oh, this is fantastic. So they decided to release a standalone game called Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones
that was
is the Sea of Thieves type game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yep, that's the quadruple A game. It crashed and burned, right?
Yeah, it crashed and burned. They considered canceling it multiple times because it was in development hell, but they actually had I forget what country it was. I bet I can find out.
Skull and Bones for Supremacy? Dude, I completely forgot that game.
Who just said?
We have
Who just said that?
We have a new friend that I don't recognize. Hello, Pompo Super.
Hello, Pompo Super. What did they say?
Skull and Bones Supremacy, baby.
So I'm pretty sure Skull and Bones was tied up in a country. It might have been Singapore, but there was a country's tax revenue that ended up getting invested into Skull and Bones, so they couldn't cancel it.
Oh, I'm learning stuff, I guess, about this game.
And then, well, I mean, you know how it goes from here. Here, I'll read the quote. I'll read the quote straight from Wikipedia. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot justified the $70 price tag of Skull and Bones, emphasizing its status as a quadruple A game.
Well, we gotta get a sequel that's quintuple A. Maybe the quintuple A is the. How do I get? Yeah,
No, I think don't tell Gerahim to.
Quintuple A is I feel like it's gonna happen soon enough.
Yeah, and it's gonna be you know how long it took between AAA being a industry accepted term and someone deciding they were a quadruple A game? It was like 12 years. But I think someone's gonna decide they're a quintuple A game next year. It's marketing. It's nothing. It's just empty words now.
Yeah, I don't have faith in that kind of stuff. How am I supposed to?
Yeah,
Pretty
you're
sure I'm
supposed
supposed
to
to bait
defeat.
him.
You're supposed to
There we
defeat him.
go.
Yeah.
GTA 6 comes to mind. I mean, okay, I feel like a game super big, like Elden Ring, maybe what the next GTA is gonna be, can be considered quadruple A. But I feel like we're starting to get to the point. If we start adding more A's, it's just getting more bloated.
Sonic Frontiers.
I wouldn't call Sonic Frontiers a quadruple A game.
Yeah, no man, it's a quadruple A game. That's what I feel. That's what I feel every time I boot it up. Ah! I was waiting for a place to sneak that joke in. Dude, I can't believe Skull and Bones is real and I'm familiar with its dev history. Oh, I just want, like, I'm not gonna look this up because I've wasted enough time, but I want you to just kind of guess what year Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out. It was like 2013, 2014.
Yeah, I remember having like seeing old video game magazines for it when I was in like like middle school or something, or like elementary school.
Skull and Bones came out last year.
Gonna pay $200 for Quintuple and it'll never be finished. That's the thing. We were mentioning that earlier today, where it's the current process for corporate game design seems to be just make the game and then finish it later.
Yeah, just release it and finish it later. Which we're not gonna rehash our entire discussion, but to summarize in one word, bad. To expand a little bit, not good. Similar to this Girahim fight, I don't see it going well.
I'm doing fine. Yeah.
You're down 5. You're down 5 hearts.
But it bothers me a lot. I don't know. Like you see a lot of games that come out now that have like a ton of stuff that you can. It really shows like how much love the developers put in for it.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of games feel kind of soulless, and I would blame that entirely on executives and whole like company stuff.
Oh, those are knives. I thought he was throwing little bats at you.
Yeah, they're flick floating knives. I meant to do that. Yeah, I'm afraid honestly of where games are probably gonna go. I'm not gonna lose. I have a fairy.
I think this has been true probably since around the time the PlayStation 4 era started. I think the future of video games as a creative medium that is entertaining people through unique ideas and passion projects, that's exclusively in the realm of indie games. And I know that there are indie games that are mass-produced soulless products too. I cannot believe you are making this look so hard.
This fight's a little rough. I didn't even need the fairy.
You made this guy look like the Blade of Mikola.
He kind of like is harder than it looks.
Bro, am I gonna have to speedrun Skyward Sword just to show you?
This fight is kind of like figure it out, Bucko. Like you gotta feel it to understand.
You don't fight Girahim with your hands. You fight Girahim with your soul.
Now you're making it weird.
You're the one. You're the one that said you have to feel it. You're like a surfing coach.
I was saying you gotta figure it out and feel it like Mr. Bones, dude.
bro.
You have to see that game's cutscenes. That game is fantastic.
But yeah. Long story short, I think AAA companies are setting themselves up for collapse, and I think Ubisoft is actually in danger of no longer existing sooner than most people would guess.
The the
And we'll see what happens when that happens.
the game has to do their latest game. What's the name of it?
Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
Shadows.
that game basically had to do well, or the company's going under.
It didn't.
Its executives, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you're telling me it didn't, then that sucks, I guess.
So Domo posted. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'll let
The
you
company
continue.
has to do well, or its executives are literally going to revolt.
The Domo posted a meme I think pretty well summarizes the Assassin's Creed Shadow problem, where there was a row of PS5 games, and it was it might have been PS4, but it was the last two Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the other one were sitting there with one copy each faced out, and then Shadows was one copy of Shadows faced out, leaning against a stack of about 16 cases.
Okay, let me explain why I don't think that's indicative of its performance. Usually in game stores, they don't overstock their shelves full of the cases. They may have a bajillion cases in the drawers or in the back. And that's why I think that it's possible that there may have been foul play in that image, because usually they don't overstock those shelves by putting games on top for any game, even if the game is not doing well. Which is why I think that image was doctored is not the word, but it was staged is what I'm thinking. Anyways, we have the real Master Sword now. We made it.
Game's over.
Nah, it's not over.
Thank you all for joining us. Next time will be Shenmue. That was a good game, Dave. You convinced me.
I keep forgetting the name of the game.
How do you forget the name of the game?
It's the funny vampire game.
I'm not even telling you this time. You got to tell me. Tell me what the name of the game is.
I was about to say the name of. I was gonna say the name of a specific Japanese book for a second.
Viewers at home, the next game we're going to play is an SNES FMV horror game about a group of bumbling vampires invading a suburban household during a teen slumber party. If you know the name of that game, feel free to guess in chat, but there is no logical reason Deity shouldn't. Because
cannot
40
remember
minutes ago,
the name of the game.
40 minutes ago, we were talking about it by name.
What did I have to do? I didn't read what you told me to do. Nightcrawler?
50%. You scored a 50% on that one.
I mean, I for a second I thought you got it. I don't even remember the name. It's oh god.
Nightcrawler is 50% right. There's your hint.
Night Trap.
There you go. Holy shit. The hill has been crested.
Thank you for running me the name of the game. I did not read a single word that Fi just said.
Wait, did someone in chat guess it?
Yes, it was not me. It was Pomo Super.
Hey, thank you for helping Deity out. I don't know when you joined us, Pomo Super, but we literally were talking about Night Trap less than an hour ago in this stream.
It's not my fault. I could never remember the name of this game. Okay, the Gate of Time. Alright.
But yeah, when we finish though, we're planning to do Night Trap, which I think is going to be either a 1 or 2 stream experience. We're under no obligation to finish any game. And I don't know if Deity has the patience for Night Trap. He thinks he does.
It's very possible I may lose my mind and not want to play anymore. I know absolutely nothing about the game aside from a single gif of one of the people in the costume walking down the hall like Elmer Fudd.
I described it earlier as Five Nights at Freddy's with 8 copies of a movie playing, and that's kind of what it is. But yeah, other plans are Shenmue in the future, which, yeah, don't expect to have a great time with Shenmue. Could be surprised.
I, I do not expect to be pleasantly surprised with Shenmue. Shenmue is one of those games that gets memed on for what it is.
I'll just do a David Cage game marathon instead.
Is there more?
Oh, no, Shenmue is not a David Cage game.
No. I'm David Cage is the in my game thing, right?
No, that's Jonathan Blow.
Okay, no. Then David Cage is Night Trap then?
No.
It's unrelated to what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to ask me if it's smaller than a bread box?
Go ahead, tell me.
David Cage is the creative mind behind Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two
Okay.
Souls.
If you want to play a David Cage game, play Omicron. You know Omicron, Trace?
I'm not familiar with Omicron, no.
Omicron.
Tell me about it, Deity.
I'm checking it right now.
I don't want to play David Cage games because I'm expecting them to be a narrative mastermind experience, by the way. I have played every game I just said with my mouth. I played Detroit, I played Beyond, I played Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is the one I had the most fun with because I was college age, mildly intoxicated, and playing it from start to finish in a room with like 8 other people.
Omicron. Oh yeah, Omicron. That's the Nomad Soul thing. That's the game where David Bowie did the soundtrack.
Oh. Man, I wouldn't mind taking a peek at that. Why not? We might want to play a game that we enjoy every now and again on this Twitch channel.
Yeah, like Bug Snacks.
No, dude, Bug Snacks is our subscriber goal. Once we're partnered, Deity's gonna have to suck it up and play Bug Snacks.
Suffering.
The people demand Bug Snacks. I'm the people. I'm demanding it. Why does she look like that?
That's the sage.
Oh. But yeah.
This sage has like the best plot point in the game.
Yeah. A Heavy Rain is definitely like a season of mystery kind of game where the only enjoyment you're going to get from it is having fun with people.
What was the name of that one game we played recently? Bug Snacks is PS5 exclusive. Apparently, it's not anymore.
No, it's on Steam. I'm pretty sure it's on Steam. Let me check. But I was pretty sure we checked before.
Yeah, check that.
Released April 28th, 2022.
So yeah,
Bug Snacks available now for purchase.
Is available on Steam, so I would have to play Bug Snacks, I guess.
It's only $24.99. It's a steal.
Yeah, it's stealing my time.
Dude.
I'm gonna save right before this boss fight because this boss fight is gonna be mean.
Deity, we're friends, brothers even, and I'm gonna require a blood pact from you right here, right now. This is the only time I've ever asked you for a pact.
Okay.
When we play Bug Snacks, if you enjoy it at any point, you have to make it known.
When have I not done that?
I'm just saying, I feel like this is the kind of thing where you're gonna get into Bug Snacks and be like 2 minutes in the tutorial and be like, oh my god, why am I even doing this? Even if you're having fun.
I'm not
I feel
ashamed
like that's
to say I like something.
I don't know, you kind of built up this mythos of hating Bug Snacks.
I built a whole pantheon.
Yo, what is Burgle the god of?
You're losing me here.
Burgle?
Yeah.
You don't know who Burgle is?
I'm not a bug snacks connoisseur, I guess I would say.
Okay, get ready for this. Get ready for this. It's a burger beetle.
Sounds gross.
Well, yeah, they're.
That sounds gross coming from the guy who would have been an entomologist in another very close universe.
Okay, I feel like we might have missed the concept of bug snacks. It's right there in the title. They are bugs.
Dude, it's like
they're snacks.
It's like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs gross.
What? Okay, stop, pause. Bug snacks conversation over. What is gross about Cloudy and the Chance of Meatballs?
You need to see that movie again. It's not gross in like a way that the movie sucks, but like the visuals of it, like I don't want to be in that situation. That's gross.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the pastrami raining from the sky scenario either, Deity, but if I was a cartoon character and it was just free, fresh food that came down clean and ready to eat.
It's gross. It's like, and then like when the food becomes like all like the thing, it's terrible. I don't. Bug Snacks just reminds me of that. I don't want to read that, King. You're making me imagine things that are worse.
So ultimately, Bug Snacks is unearthing trauma you experience when you watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I wouldn't say trauma. I would just say that it's just gross to me. Like stuff made out of food. Like you're taught not to play with your food.
Yeah, but usually food isn't coming down from the heavens.
All right, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm gonna just climb up to go fight the imprisoned. I forgot he does that. The fifth time is the... Yeah, this game... One of the biggest complaints you'll see people just say about the game is... Yeah, so Gruce invented a cannon. He invented the cannon. It's called the Grucenator. One of the major complaints about this game is how often you have to fight the imprisoned. I wouldn't say I necessarily dislike this game because of, or not necessarily because of this fight. I think it sucks, but like, this fight is a lot better if you don't have to run the whole way. I'm perfectly fine with fighting this fight if it wasn't for the fact that it was designed in a frustrating way.
If the fight was good,
the amount of
I wouldn't have a problem. If the fight was good, I wouldn't have a problem with it, is what he's saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, I like that Gruce redeemed himself enough to be one of the few non-Link playable characters in a mainline Zelda game.
Yeah, Gruce is quite beloved in this game. Like he starts off as like the bully character, and then sort of just comes into his own.
Dude, what is the Grucenator gonna help with right now?
When is he gonna stop? Is he gonna stop?
When are you gonna stop him?
There we go, now I can shoot him. Yeah, I think the third version of this fight is actually like pretty good. That's the thing, but I think it's no, like you'll see why I like the third one.
Did you miss?
No. As long as you hit close to him, he'll be stunned for... I missed. No, I didn't. Okay.
Did you miss?
No, I didn't. I thought he was moving after I said I didn't miss. Alright, that's it. But the third fight actually adds a pretty interesting twist to it that I actually do like. But like every other version was a bit meh.
I like the part where you go back to the temple and have to help Zelda get through the temple with the armor, and then you go like 10 feet away, get an item, and then do it again. I like that part.
Wait, you're confusing me. We're still talking about Skyward Sword?
No, I'm making fun of Phantom Hourglass.
Well, Phantom Hourglass is pretty neat. I
I don't
think
know.
Phantom Hourglass is very simple for what it is because it's designed to be played in like little dungeons. I think Girahim is such a cool villain. If he returned, I think it would be sick. He's such a Link hater. Any Link would do for him to start throwing hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna be real. That's kind of I didn't play this game. This is my first experience with this portion of this game. But my main exposure to Girahim is through Hyrule Warriors, where he is Link hater extraordinaire. And yeah, I really like Girahim in Hyrule Warriors. I'm starting to enjoy him in this game now that I've seen more of his cutscenes. But yeah, we chose this as our channel's first game to stream because Deity wanted to convince me Skyward Sword was good after I had bounced off of it about 100 times.
I think it's pretty fun for a Zelda game. Like it still plays the formula.
Whoa. You can't. Pretty fun for a Zelda game. Makes it sound like Zelda games have a low standard of quality.
I've said before, this is not the best Zelda game. This game has its problems. But for
This
what
game
it
is not Minish
I
Cap.
think people were too harsh on it. I think it serves its purpose as a good 3D Zelda game. Particularly, I enjoy some of the dungeons in this game.
I can't decide if my favorite Zelda game is Twilight Princess or Minish Cap some days. And they're two very different experiences.
I love Wind Waker. I love the Wind Waker. I love everything about the Wind Waker.
I think I actually watched a 6-hour-long commentated 100% speedrun for Twilight Princess like 2 days ago. I love Twilight Princess. The game is really good.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorites. Specifically those two, like the GameCube era Zeldas, I love those ones. And I think it says a lot that people want to go back to, or in increasing amounts, saying that they want to go back to linear Zelda when the major complaint about Skyward Sword was how linear it was. Is showing up after the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's because people want some, I guess I want to say, direct involvement in a story, in a Zelda story.
I think what people I as the king of video games do speak for all gamers here. And I think what people want is structured dungeons, puzzles, and world exploration. I don't necessarily think they would need a fully linear experience to do that. And the reason I mention that is because A Link to the Past is about as non-linear as a traditional Zelda structure can possibly be, and is a very, very good game.
Yeah.
Like, the only dungeons you have to do in order are the first one and the last one, and beyond that, exploration and progression is totally up to you.
I like that. I think you lose a little bit of cohesion in story when you do that. Whereas, a lot of environments, if you don't tell a story with them, become... I don't want to use the word generic, because I think that the dungeons are very creative in A Link to the Past. And offer like a genuine adventure. And it doesn't have to be plot focused, but I do like a good adventure game to have a engaging plot.
And a link between worlds has like stories that give you entry into the dungeon that kind of contextualizes what the sage means to the area and what the dungeon is. But I agree that you do kind of lose something when it's not. Not Twilight Princess and the Immaculate World and level design. Snow Peak Temple, Snow Peak Ruins, Snow Peak Manor. I got it in 3.
I I love Snow Peak Manor actually, or I think it is Snow Peak Ruins.
Is it not Snow Peak Manor? Well, it doesn't
I think
matter.
well,
It's a
it's a
great
manor,
dungeon.
but I think it's the Snow Peak Ruins. I don't remember though.
By the way, in a 100%,
Oh wait, look at the effect on this gate once it opens. It's cool.
in a 100% speed run, obviously you skip pretty large sections of Snow Point Manor, but a lot of the big events are not skippable, so you actually get a pretty decent Snow Point Manor experience in a speed run.
I like Wind Waker speedruns. They're very cool in how you break the game.
Yeah. I got to see a Blizzetta fight optimization that I think I could actually do with my human hands. She's pretty easy to one cycle. If you force her to pin you up to a wall, then she has nowhere to go when you start ball and chaining her.
Oh yeah, if if you didn't know that this is where this song is from, this is where this song is from.
I don't have my audio on because I'm phone streaming.
Right.
Imitate it.
So I'm not gonna
Sing it.
imitate it. Here,
No. Sing it.
I'll give
Make
you a
the sound.
timestamp of the VOD later. I don't want to sing. It's late.
Okay. All right. Coward.
Uh, anyways, yeah, this is one of Grush's big cutscenes. I like.
I think they missed a huge opportunity here to have Gru's buddy cop with you.
The whole point is that we might have not been paying entire attention to the game, but he's been feeling extremely inadequate compared to Link after they fell down from the sky.
Yeah.
And so like, this is kind of his acceptance that he needs to fit in his role to save the world.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, blah blah, character development and growth. Yisang moment. I want a buddy cop comedy duo to happen.
They're still technically best friends after this game.
So when Skyward Sword 2 comes out, I'm gonna get my buddy cop sequence.
Please refer to the Zelda timeline.
No. I adamantly refuse to refer to the Zelda timeline.
Okay, I have a question. Do you
I
know
don't
why
have
people
an
hate
answer.
the Zelda timeline?
Because it's nonsense.
Is it?
Yes.
I feel like a lot of it makes sense, especially because it was written by the devs who kind of like knew all of this already when they were writing the games.
I feel like Kingdom Hearts has less complicated lore.
The one I think doesn't make sense is when they try to add Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to the timeline. Because that game, I know that we've tried to explain it before, like personally. Oh wait, look at this cool effect.
I feel like Breath of the Wild. Whoa. I have never seen a cooler time gate.
It's very cool. And look at him, he just walks through it like that.
Oh, it's okay. It's solid on the bottom. It didn't look like it was.
Anyways,
I feel like Legend of Zelda lore is like as confusing as Kirby lore, if not more so.
I've been like a massive Zelda lore head for at this point over a decade.
Yeah, but you have to, when you start learning about the city, you have to start throwing other knowledge away.
I still know a lot about Zelda lore. I can't name every single Zelda enemy like I used to be able to, but
You just got to throw some ox and box in there. You know, the old Baktawak.
but I still love Zelda, and I do think the timeline is credible until you get to like until you get to Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, because those games have like the Rito and the Zoras at the same time, which something in that doesn't sit right with me given how they explain the existence of Rito in Wind Waker.
Yeah. When you're right, you're right.
Uh, it's gonna.
Bruce?
I mean, we could meet Grusin on the other side of that door. Let's go see if he's there.
He looks good in that dress. Oh man, it's Zelda. You see your childhood best friend after all this time, and your only response is to mouth breathe revenue. He's like, ew.
He's very quiet.
Dude, I'm glad right before we're about to break for bedtime, we get this lore dump.
It's like a bedtime story. Pay attention. Okay, we've heard this bedtime story many times though.
Oh no, Demise is new. It's usually a different guy.
Oh, so wait, you don't know about Demise? Okay.
Well, yeah,
No, no.
I know enough about Demise.
Okay.
We don't need to stop. We don't need to stop and read it.
No, all I was gonna say is that he's pretty cool, and if you want to learn more about like why I think he's cool, just like in the final act of the game, just like we should probably pay a little bit of attention to what he says. Imagine Gear
Is
to
he as hot?
Sephiroth Zelda right now. This is very Final Fantasy VII esque
Yeah.
right now.
Is Demise as hot as Matt Mercer Ganondorf is?
Matt
That's the
Mercer
real
can
question.
I like the one laugh face he does. But it's I mean it's down to preference. If you ask me as like a straight guy, I would say uh Matt Mercer Ganondorf. But
There you
it's
go.
different for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, thank
I'm
you for.
assuming you would say probably I don't know actually.
I guess we'll find out when I see what Demise looks like.
Oh, I'm not talking about Demise. Demise is Demise is just some like guy with like orange hair, and he's like a demon, so he's very dark. So it's hard to see a lot of his features.
Well, then obviously Matt Mercer Ganondorf's gonna be hotter.
He does have a pretty big nose like Ganondorf, though.
Is that relevant?
No, I mean if we're talking about how he looks, like maybe
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
depends on if nose is in your important criteria. Uh, but I like the lore of this game. There's one thing about the Hyrule Historia which is on my Wii U. Um,
Right next to the Blaze Blue art book.
I let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Um, I have I bought not me. I was still a kid when I got it, but I got the Wind Waker Special Edition Wii U, the one that comes with like the Zelda, what do I call it? Embroidery on not the Joy-Con, the gamepad.
Insignia.
And that comes with a copy of Wind Waker HD and a digital copy of the Hyrule Historia. So my only
Dude,
reference for the Hyrule Historia is literally installed on my Wii U.
Link's fucking face. I'm sorry, put one in the square there. Did you see his face?
Yeah. Hello Sean. How was the stream? this game is very expressive. I actually like a lot of the faces characters make in this game. They didn't do that a lot
He
with
was
Soldiers Up. He was.
he was pogging so he could catch flies.
Saw it and Zave then came here. She says hi. Oh, tell Zave I said hi.
Oh, hi, Sean.
Supreme power. Why am I reading this out loud?
If we're reading text out loud, fire up Ace Attorney Investigations.
I most definitely would love to, but I cannot. Honestly, at this point though, my neighborhood has been getting, I would say, like 1 decibel louder every month.
So at a certain point,
at some point, I might as well just be like, all right, whatever.
We're voice acting.
It's not streaming. Yeah. I mean, like, probably focus on that. We're doing okay here. But if you ever get the chance, probably we'd appreciate it.
Yeah. This was not a project we decided to do with an expectation of lavish success. That's just gonna come naturally because of how talented we are.
Hey.
But yeah, what's up?
That's behind closed doors.
That's behind closed doors.
I only talk about how great I am to myself.
In the mirror every day.
Hey, that's actually pretty good advice. In the morning, tell yourself how great you are. You are valued.
Oh, we're just doing a inverse low tier god speech right now. But yeah, the main reason we do this is to have fun and have conversations, and I feel like growth will just spring up around that if we continue to be passionate about talking to each other, because I'm going to be completely real, passionate about the games we're playing is not going to be any game after this one for a while.
I might love Night Trap. I remembered the name.
He did it. Give him a medal. He remembered what Night Trap's name is for approximately 30 minutes.
I'm gonna forget tomorrow, just so we're clear.
Yeah, I would love it if...
Listen, I showed Ultra Mr. Bones, and I do not feel like I want to play it myself ever. I love Mr. Bones, but Mr. Bones has some of the most frustrating levels in any video game. I do have to show Trace stuff from Mr. Bones. If you've never seen someone play Mr. Bones, please watch somebody play Mr. Bones. It is a fantastic, nonsensical, but also very, how do I say it? Very, oh man, I'm drawing, it is late. I'm drawing a blank here.
Have you noticed that Zelda's lip flaps aren't lined up to the text, but are just going forever?
I mean, yeah. You know what? Never mind. That is weird. Usually they stop after the text box stops.
Yeah, usually they stop.
But it's a very charming game. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very charming.
Blink. Blink. Blink.
When I was little, I used to do staring contests with the video game characters.
Well, Link would be kicking your rear end.
I've won, by the way. Yeah, I can keep my eyes open for a very long time. I don't wonder. I probably can't do it. I probably can't do it as good anymore.
Oh, he's pogging again. You want to elucidate me on those reasons, Zelda?
It just feels the robot, and they decided to make in Breath of the Wild. They make the sword make the fee noise when you pick it up.
Yeah. And Zelda mentions hearing it talk to her.
He is frozen stiff.
He's blinking now, at least. Ruh-roh, I think I left the oven on.
Where did the rut-row come from that, and then you immediately shifted out of talking like Scooby-Doo?
Because he's got a real Ruh-roh face on. Look at his face. What expression would you say that is? That looks like Ruh-roh to me.
I think that expression is no words or sound at all.
Well, Deity, I have something interesting to tell you about expressions like smiling or frowning or crying. They don't come with sound effects generally.
This expression is the first experience as a waiter on your first table.
Someone just
interrupted
asked you what
their conversation to come ask what they want to eat.
They just asked you what today's specials are, and you actually literally have no idea.
I like waiters that are like that. As long as they're nice, like I don't have a problem if they can't do their job. Like I don't care.
Are we getting knighted?
Kinda. This is technically the first reincarnation of the hero. According to
Well, that's not a reincarnation then. That's an incarnation.
According to the little manga that exists inside of the Hyrule Historia. Did you know that the Hyrule Historia has a manga in it?
I do now.
It has a manga in it that explains the very first Link.
You know,
it's not this one.
Deity, I actually thought your Bible was the Bible, but now I see that it's Hyrule Historia.
I'm pretty sure I've read the Hyrule Historia from cover to cover. Did you know that Hylian is a translatable language and the cipher for it is in the Hyrule Historia?
Yes, yes, everyone knew that.
Not everybody knows that. Okay?
Well, everybody knows that.
Now everybody knows that.
It's a psyop.
Don't get started with the psyop stuff.
Yeah. We're not gonna get really deep into it. Pineapples, though.
There we go. Now we have the full damage.
It can now drive back demons.
Pineapples? Hello, Hyper.
Hello. Okay, Pineapples is we were playing a like an I Spy type video game. They exist apparently. Find the hidden object video game.
Pineapples.
And one of our other friends was being tasked. He would pick one item from the list, and nobody else was allowed to find it. And the pineapple he selected was very close to the foreground, in the left of the screen, super visible, like right next to the camera. And as we whittled down the list and he still hadn't found it, he started accusing everyone who said they knew where it was but wouldn't tell him of making it up because it was just so well hidden. And I promise you, if I gave you a screenshot of the background and said find the pineapple, you would accomplish it in about 4 seconds.
I have a confession to make.
Yeah.
I was part of the people laughing when he finally found, or when we finally told him where it was.
Yeah, but you didn't know where it was.
I didn't know where it was either.
It was Deity. It was right there.
I didn't know where it was, partially because I wasn't looking for it, but I didn't know where it was. That was a great time. If you ever have if you're ever in person with a group of friends and you have like an I Spy book, or what's the name of that game again?
Season of Mysteries. It's available if it's still going on. Square Enix was having a Square Enix sale on Steam, and that's the whole reason we bought Season of Mysteries, because right now it's $2, and it's a hidden object mystery game, and for $2, it's definitely worth the price of admission. But don't play it by yourself, because that's a really boring way to play it. I promise you, you'll have more fun with a small group.
Play it with a group of friends. It's great. Very, very good time if you do so. It's actually, how long was it? I had to leave for certain times.
4.5 hours, about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like, that's a good time. Like, plan a night with some friends for just some I Spy.
it's mostly I Spy, which I would assume nobody in that call had played I Spy in approximately 2 decades.
I was a little boy in elementary school.
I'm pretty sure I was. I'm not sure that my last I Spy book was even at a time period that I could read.
I was about to say that. I haven't played it in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, the last time I had was I Spy. I could have been, like, maybe, like, 8 or something, dude. And it was
I
probably,
had to
like,
be
one of
like,
those, like, I Spy books in, like, the teacher's classroom.
yeah, I had to be like 4 or 5.
Like, 8 at most for me.
I didn't think I liked I Spy, but it turns out I just needed to make it into a competitive sport.
They got a Where's Waldo book. I went back to in high school and to find the guy, and the last page never did. I always got not unreasonably upset, but like unreasonably bored
Are, are,
from
are you
Where's
saying
Waldo
Waldo
because
put you on tilt? Are you saying
he
Waldo
no
put
no
you on gamer tilt?
he did not tilt me, but um, what he did was he never got found by me. I could never find Waldo, and I would always give up before I ever did. Yeah, I don't like. I usually don't like games where you find very hard to find stuff because I've never been good at that. When I was a kid, I would always be the kid that the teacher sent to, like, hey, we're all sitting in a circle on the rug. Go get this thing from the other side of the classroom. And I could never find it, and they would always yell at me that I couldn't find it. And they kept sending me anyways. Like, so it
Uh,
was torture.
yeah, and I'm not surprised given that track record that you couldn't find the pineapple. I cannot believe you let Domo take the heat for not being able to find the
I
pineapple,
was
even though
not
you
tasked
couldn't
with
find
finding
it
the
either.
pineapple.
You couldn't find it.
I just made fun of him like everybody else who found the pineapple.
It's taking up 1/4 of the screen. How do you not see it?
It's camouflage.
It's sitting on top of a kiwi. It's a different color.
All I'm saying is, like, it was actually pretty camouflaged. Anyway, Zelda's turning herself into a rock.
Turn the game off.
Turn the game off?
Yeah, don't answer it. Do a Spec Ops The Line and just stop right here.
Spec Ops? Okay. I feel like there's certain games where you need to make it personal, and other games where you need to distance yourself from the role of the characters.
And
I feel
I
like
think
Spec Ops The Line is a game where you kind of have to find a middle ground with that, where you need to understand that you are deriving enjoyment from a terrible situation, but also
yeah,
that you are not the players in this, and it is also telling a story.
yeah, I understand. I also think, I don't know. I think it's hard. I'm not going to get into a full Spec Ops The Line thing when we're about to finish up, but I think that since Spec Ops The Line charges money, it can't criticize the players for wanting to see the end of the experience. There, that's my short critique.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, we're going to actually leave this here, though.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight.
Okay.
Um,
Well, a bit of
keep it.
a quick ending, but we'll probably be
Yeah,
back again either this weekend or maybe early next week. Probably want
Keep
to
an
start doing
eye
this more
on
often.
TraceNDeity. Is it TraceNDeity at Blue Sky Social?
You know what? I'll put the link in chat to our Blue Sky so that you can
Yeah, if you're
stay notified on
stay up to
when they're
date.
going to be up.
We at the moment not gonna mince words. We stream very sporadically with no particular hard schedule. We're trying to get better about that and do it more frequently. So we hope that we have a stream coming up soon that you'll be able to swing by if you enjoyed sitting in to chat with us. We definitely enjoyed having y'all. Maybe even we'll finish Zelda and be able to play a real game. Like, what's
A
the name of the
real
next game?
game. He's so mean, dude.
What's the name of the next game we're playing, Daddy?
Night Trap.
He's got it. He's gonna remember it now. I promise. Okay.
Alright,
All
and
right.
there's the YouTube as well, so that you can catch the VODs if you want to see
I
them.
think I only swore 3 times.
You know, the swear jar was probably in the single digits. You did a good job today.
Yeah, don't watch the other VOD because the swear jar was overflowing.
When are we playing Overcooked? That might be an option. I'm gonna probably put together a spreadsheet of games.
Um,
Maybe see what might be some good ideas.
yeah, and I mean, when we get into the future and if we don't know what to play, we always can just turn it over to y'all and chat and see what you want us to do. If it's a game that might have some merit of entertainment to it. But we are gonna play Shenmue, which I think might be the bottom of the barrel. Anyway.
Hey, don't be so mean yet. We'll wait
Yeah.
for judgment to be mean.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up for real now.
All right. Thanks for coming, everyone who came,
Yeah.
and good night.
Yeah. Have a good night.